until you start believing in yourself. You ain't gonna have a life.
Welcome back, guys. Let me get my supplements going real quick. You guys know I have an amazing new sponsor, Yamamoto Nutrition. So every training session, I have my pre-workout, aminos just like everyone else, with a bunch of water. Normally these aminos is two scoops, I think 1.5 actually. Yes, but I'm gonna do 4 because I'm a bodybuilder and of course we gotta do everything in excess. Plus there's more water in here normally, so than what would normally be used. So I already have my pre-workout. So this little mixture that I'm gonna have during training, this glycobol and aminos, basically one's carbohydrates, the other's aminos. So I'm gonna sip on that through this workout. Oh. All right, so while I'm waiting for this to settle, like I said, welcome back, guys. It's time to get some more content going. You guys have pretty much been on me about getting something new out because, you know, we've had the shows, the season's over with, and for the first time ever, we're going into an off season. I don't believe me and my guy have put any off season content out since we started back in 2015. So it's been quite a while. So this is gonna be a little bit different than what you guys are normally used to, because I'm always giving you content when I'm in prep. So it's always a diet. It's just a lot different. The training's different because when you're lower calories, of course you can't train the same. You can attempt to train the same, but it's gonna be different. All you guys and girls know when you're in prep, your strength energy is just not the same because you have limited food. But now we're in off season. For me particularly, I need to grow. So I'm having more food than ever right now. We'll do a video on some food later, but this is strictly gonna be training today. But you guys know 2020 is coming to a close. It is the beginning of November here. It's a Tuesday. Everyone's waiting on the election to happen. I guess the results and whatnot, and we're in the gym training because that's what we always do. And we're gonna take a year off season. We had the shows, placing was good. We had good feedback from the judges, but the return, information was still the same. We need to grow, we gotta get bigger. I have not taken an off season since I turned pro in 2017. I've done a couple shows a year, which, spaces them out. So it makes it really hard to grow when you're always prepping. You're always cutting down for a show because your food is limited. So for me, shows are spaced 6 months apart. I'm really relatively probably getting 8 to 12 weeks to grow before I have to cut down again. So with me finally getting to a stopping point where I've had a few good shows, a few didn't go as good as I wanted. But like I said, that's the job. You have to improve when the judges tell you got to improve. So for me, it's more size, and that can only be done with enough time and a lot of training, heavy training, a lot of food. So that's what this off season is going to focus on. A lot of the content that I'm going to give you guys, it's going to be all heavy lifting. You'll notice even in today's video, it's going to be less reps and heavier weight training, and because we're going to train some back. So we definitely got to get some more thickness back there, hamstrings, legs, all these different things that need to come up in order for me to be more competitive. And like I said, these things just take time. So we're going to take roughly 12 months away from the stage. We may come back and compete in 2021. It may even be 2022, but it doesn't really matter. Like I said, I have an amazing sponsor, Yamamoto Nutrition, behind me. They're going to make sure I have everything I need to make this offseason successful. And when I come back, we'll bring you guys a really amazing package, and while we're going for that #1 spot, because the goal is still the same, we just got to take a little detour just to grow some, to be competitive. So like I said, we're going to hit some back today. We're here at Invincible Fitness in Spring, Texas. So this is a new facility. You'll see tonight, there's not really very many people in here. It's a smaller gym, but it has everything that I need to get this job done. So shout out to them for letting us come in here and get some content going. And shout out to my sponsor, Darc Sports, as well, for keeping me fresh and all my gear and stuff like that. I know you guys check out a lot of those clothes. make sure when you go on there, use Patrick10 as a code to get you a good discount. But like I said, today is November 3rd, I believe. We're gonna train some back. Great start to our off season, so let's get to work. We're gonna start with some pull-ups. I haven't done these in a good while to start back day, but back to the drawing board. Remember when I first started training, I was transitioning from boxing to bodybuilding. I would start every workout with pull-ups and dips because that's what I was used to doing in boxing. But it's a great way to get a lot of blood in your back really quick. Right now my weight is hovering around 260. So this is pretty much pulling up a significant amount of weight for reps just to get started. So we'll start with this, and then you guys know the drill. Whatever my body wants to do, however it's feeling, that's what we're gonna do. But we'll definitely do some heavy movements, T-bar rows, rack pulls. I'll make it worth it. Start with these pull-ups and roughly 10-15 reps. I could do more, but this is just a warm-up. I don't want to burn myself out because, like I said, getting away from the heavier or the higher reps, transition to the heavier weight, just to build that mass. So for everybody who's watching, I still do high rep training, but you know, it's proven that you're gonna wanna grow, you're gonna have to hit that heavy weight. So heavy weight, lower reps, build some more dense muscle. That's it. Except for that, now on transition into some seated row. So pull-ups right to a machine, and then I'm gonna get to some free weights. That's where I give my joints, ligaments, tendons some time to get going. Muscles good, they get pumped quick, but you gotta remember the internal parts. Sometimes you gotta let those warm up a little bit more. So I tend to go a couple machines before I bounce right into the free weights. So to do some seated cable row. When you're training at night, it's a little bit different than normal, which I actually like a little bit better because I have time throughout the day to eat versus training in the afternoon where I may just get a couple of meals in and then I have to go hit the gym. Train at this time, get at least a couple more meals in, and just from starting, I can tell it just makes a difference. So more food, more energy. Woo. So you see it's a little bit different. Couple sets down, and then we just jump to the whole stack, which I've worked with some heavier stacks than this, but it's cool. When you're working with a little bit less weight, a couple different ways you can make it a little harder. You know, shorten the rest time, drop sets, all those kind of things to challenge the muscle. We'll go one more, about 4 sets here, and then I'll get into some of this heavy stuff. I have noticed training in the lower rep range does give me more energy, obviously, going into the heavier movements, because if this was the normal training style that I've used while being on prep anyways, 20 reps a set, it can wear you down, because I mean, I'm pretty much doubling up on the workload rep-wise. So doing a little bit less will allow me to pull heavier, these next couple of movements. So let's bounce to some T-bar row, 5-pound plates are a little bit smaller, so you can just tell by the size of them. But I like these a lot better because on T-bar rows, if you're a guy with a bigger chest, it makes it kind of hard to get a full squeeze once the plate comes up and hits you in the chest. So you're forced to kind of sit back off of the weight a little bit. Well, with these smaller plates, it's good because it's the same weight, but it allows you to kind of stand over the weight and get a little bit more of a better contraction. So we'll start with 3 plates, and we'll just go up from there. All right, so like I said, nothing crazy. 12, 15 reps. On this particular bar, the stem isn't that long, so we should be able to get 7, 8 plates on here, which is about what I aim for. Oh yeah. No more playing around. Rookie season is over. Got to start to step my shit up. It's harder to get it up than it actually is to rep it. That's what I got to get used to. Man, that's not easy. Jeez. You know how many plays Ronnie Coleman was doing on this? That dude was insane. That's why he was so damn big. It was crazy strong. You guys know rack pulls are gonna be for lower back development. So normally on back day I've been doing deadlifts, but I trained quads yesterday and had some heavy squats. So in order to try to keep my lower back from tightening up, we'll just do rack pulls instead. But on next back day video, I promise you guys to do some heavy deadlifts. heavy movements back to back. It's tough. But it's gonna pay off in a year. Just gotta keep coming in here every time. Every time. Train heavy, stick to my diet, rest properly. It's the key to success in this sport. I remember 400 pounds being a lot lighter than this. It's only heavy if it's heavy in your brain. That took a lot of juice. So what you're seeing right there is an improvisation. Because this cable is a little bit longer, so I'm having to sit on the ground just to get a full extension. So that's the only reason I'm down there, because normally I just do this seated like it's supposed to be done. But this would just be something that the gym will probably come back and fix at some point. But still the same pull. It's just your traditional mid-grip pull down. I've never used a V-bar that's this wide apart. So it feels pretty good. Pull downs pull a lot on your bicep, as a lot of you guys know. So after those heavy rack pulls and T-bar, now I'm starting to feel it. Not only my biceps feeling it, but those wraps are really digging into my wrists, so it's making it kind of hard to get more reps. But that's cool. Again, like I said, that amount of weight from that angle with no counter support, 8-10 reps is pretty good. That's about it for back, because about spend all of my energy on those two heavy movements. So a lot of people usually do biceps at the end of back. Training arms in this off season is something I'm trying to get used to doing, because I normally don't train arms because they're ahead of everything else, or they were ahead of everything else. But now I'm starting to get back into it. So huge shout out to Fat Grips, for making me these custom grips. I think I've showed you guys once or twice. So this is what I use in. That's gonna make my biceps, my forearms work a little bit harder. So I'll just knock out a couple sets, maybe some hammer curls, traditional curl, just to get a quick pump, and then we're gonna wrap it up. I already pumped from the damn back training. This is just icing on the cake. I guess your arms can never be too big. They're pretty easy to use. You just open up right here, and they pretty much just snap around the weight. Just like that. So now it gives you a fatter grip. It makes your forearms work a lot harder, especially in hammer curls anyway. right, guys, that about wraps it up. Like I told you, this is the start of a really good off season for me. It's been about a month and a half since my last show at the California Pro, and that was the end of a really good season in 2020 for me. Actually, a good run of 3 years continuously doing shows back to back. But this is definitely something I'm excited about because, like I said, this is the first time I'm able to give you guys some off-season content. Every time I'm training or I give you guys content, I'm always in prep, so I'm always dieting. And the training is always limited, to a certain degree, basically. I still try to train as heavy as possible, but of course, like I said, I can only do as much as my body will allow. With this being off season, food's extra high, my energy is high, I'm able to rest more. Another big plus is I'm not working, and that's a huge thanks to Yamamoto Nutrition. They're allowing me, or they make it possible for me to not be able to have any distractions during off season. So my only job for the next 12 months is to grow, come back and take over. That's the plan. The goal hasn't changed. Trust me, a couple of bad placings, that did not knock me off my confidence. I tell people this all the time. I started bodybuilding because I wanted to. I didn't start lifting weights because of some lack of confidence. So where some people tend to get, knocked down and beat up about taking a couple losses here and there, that's nothing for me. I mean, that just means I wasn't my best. So like I tell you guys all the time, when I am my best and I am 100%, and when I do come back, that's gonna be a wrap. I'm not playing around, I'm not messing around with this training, the diet, the whole program, because I'm coming for the #1 spot to be the best in the world. And like I said, everyone doesn't have to believe it. I just have to believe it. And everything I said that I was gonna do so far, I've done. So there's only one thing left to do, and that's to win Olympia. Only thing between that is just the work. That's it. Put in the work, put in the time, and that's gonna be it. So like I said, this is a great start to an off season for me. Training's been really good. My body feels great. Getting a lot of rest, and this is #1, and we got about probably 100 more to go. So you guys stay tuned. Check out the video. Hit the subscribe button below. Huge thank you again to my sponsors, Yamamoto Nutrition, Fat Grips, Darc Sports. All you guys, I really appreciate you. Appreciate you guys viewing. Like I said, check out the video. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time.